Hi everybody, it's your pal Drew, and I'm working on some intro music. That was Yeah, I Don't Know by the Coolies, Coolies, and I guess they're making a play on the word cool, but growing up in an Italian household, coolie meant something entirely different. Well, I'm going to pick out my books that you will probably like from my spinner rack. I would hope so. Anyway, if you don't, you can tell me. Man, Gil Kane cover. I think it's inked by Ralph Reese. Before the Defenders had their own series, they had 3 issues of Marvel Feature that was, I guess, testing the waters, and then it moved on to different things. Moved on to Ant-Man, moved on to... It only lasted like 12 issues with... then it became the precursor to Marvel 2-in-1 with the Thing. It had the Thing and Hulk, and then the Thing and Iron Man. So I thought I was going to say Everett on this, but it looks more Ralph Reese. He was inking a lot of covers at this time, and he's one of those mystery guys. I don't know if he's done a lot of stuff or not. He inked a few covers of Iron Man, but it was usually with Gil Kane. And so here we go. A Titan Walks Among Us. Bill Everett inking, Roy Thomas script, and Ross Andrew is the penciler. How about like Everett not filling in the blanks all the way, which I totally applaud, because it just gives it a touch of realism there. I mean, the most realism you can get in a comic about superheroes, but I like to do that too when I get the occasion. This looks really good because the first Marvel feature, Bill Everett was being a dick. He decided, well, there's all these construction lines, and I don't feel like chiseling them down to figures, so I'm just going to ink every line. So the first issue looks awful. It's a shambles because it was somehow I guess Roy went to bat for him or something, because that's not something you usually get. That's a good way to get fired, I guess is what I'm saying. Really nice stuff there. And of course, that's Everett's character, Submariner. Really beautiful stuff. Here comes Zemnu, who had shown up about more than 10 years ago as the Hulk. That was his original name. As big furry guy. So he has a children's show back when that was a thing. There were a lot of children's shows. I don't know how old you are, but especially on the weekends, they would have. They have it in the morning. They have like Captain Kangaroo and everything. But on the weekends, if they show old movies, they usually had some kind of mascot that was either kind of wacky, or you'd get guys who tell good stories and they play guitar, like Joe Negri in Pittsburgh. And there's Captain Pitt, and there's all these captains across the country that would tell us about comics, cartoons, and TV shows that we were going to watch. So just a short host. The guy throws a pie. Splat. You've been so wonderful to me that I might just take you with me when I go next month. You just get those hypno eyes going, and that's his thing. So Jim Wilson, who was I always liked him. He was Rick Jones 2.0. He was it's like Rick Jones was just such a he was almost a superhero because he was in so many issues, and I like Jim Wilson. And unfortunately, there was a story where he got killed due to AIDS back in the Hulk when Peter David was writing it, and it felt kind of empty. I got the point, but Jim Wilson I really liked because he was actually the guy in the scene when I was getting comics, when I was reading the Hulk. It's like, well, do we really need Rick Jones to loiter in the Marvel Universe for 60 plus years? I say no. Yeah, look at those beautiful lines by Everett. They make a great team. Really great. This is before Spider-Man. And he draws a gross Hulk, a gruesome Hulk. And he's supposed to be gruesome. My problem later on was people would draw him handsome. And he's not supposed to be handsome. Namor and the Hulk are pissed off. They're like, "Come, brutish one, our finished here. Our finished here is business. Our business here is finished, and let not even Doctor Strange summon us in Earth's hour of need, for we will not come." But we know better. So I read this last night. Vigilante, with a cover by Brian Boland. Love that cover. Really, it made me actually pick up the book. I didn't even read it from the $2 bin. Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate on this. I'm probably going to get a lot of crap. But if Vigilante, the word is reflected in his goggles, shouldn't it be backwards? Just like how ambulances have in the front, they have ambulance written, backwards so people in their rearview mirrors can see them coming. Maybe if they'd have found a way to crop it, or I don't know what it was, but it's just one of those things that bugged me. And who am I? I'm just your pedestrian, footnote in comics history, and Boland is history, and so I love it nonetheless. So this is Ross Andrew again. It's National Ross Andrew Day, I guess. Inked by Tony DeZuniga, which is great. And this came out, $285. I mean, 1985. Whoa, hold on a second. 1986. I'm looking at the price Canadian. So those poor Canucks. And he has possibly one of the best costumes of the era. George Perez designed him and put him in New Teen Titans when he was doing the book. And look at that incredible stuff. Wow. That's really audaciously good. And I'm not saying it's showing off. It's just well done. That's like an angle that could easily be done in a generic fashion, but And apparently Adrian Chase, who was the original Vigilante, he is on trial, but there's another Vigilante who is taking his place. But man, those DeZuniga inks on it just adds that little extra something. And that's his girlfriend who's helping him, enabling him. Just helping him with his war against crime. How about that? The postures of all the characters in the foreground, that's hard to do. You see a lot of modern artists who can't quite make it work. So Ross Andrew was always good at having the people... there was never any errors. He was always good at putting characters in the proper perspective, proper placement. Really, really good stuff. And then now we go to the Ultimate Man, Megalith, drawn by Neil Adams. This came out. I've shown other continuity comics, and it's Neil and all the assistants and other people who work in continuity studios he decided to publish, and it might have been a little too ambitious because the books came out so erratically. This is 1985, but this is all Neil Adams and Corey Adams doing the coloring, and then penciling work by staff assistant Lata Subosi. I'm really sorry about that, but the coloring is really great. At that. This is 85 too. It's like I don't think anybody but like Steve Olaf was doing this kind of stuff. Megalith. He became this huge athlete, and he got a scholarship to this super private school, and it's private for a purpose. Over the years, he's mastered his body and mind and can do a lot more things, like very superhero-ish. Okay. Just letting you drink in the art. How about that? I love the coloring too. It's not overdone. And here's the thing: he's off on this school, and he's writing letters. Each Friday night, Joe wrote a letter to his parents. He had visited him twice. His parents' letter was odd. His father didn't speak of his visit, but of the financial opportunities that more available by the Olympic Committee, because he's trying out for the Olympics thanks to the school. But there were 2 paragraphs that had been censored, and he asked about it, and he goes, "You're getting a little presumptuous, old young man. You want to go home? You want to disguise? Schedule a meet? You're a slacker, blah, blah, blah." So he's basically verbally abusing him, and also kind of, he's working on him. Oh, gosh, yeah. He had a dog next to him, and the guy killed the dog, which was horrible, but he was like, "That'll teach you a lesson." Is that understood? So he took his anger and hate and put it into working out as much as he could. That's great. So, my only hang-up is there's a lot of his backstory, and that's great. See, he can do stuff like that, like just land safely, jumping out of a helicopter. He gets shot in the gut. He just uses muscles to pop it out. Another thing is, it's a little absurd. Like, you could perfect your body, but you can't be bulletproof, really. But it's comics. This image was reused for like an advertisement for an in-house ad for Megalith. But he's still a big kid at the bottom. He gets slapped, and he's upset. A great backup story by, oh yeah, he puts credits at the bottom. Neil Adams wrote it and inked it. It was penciled by Will Junkuntz, who I've heard before. Colored by Michael friggin' Golden. Wow, I love that. I love that he was used just for that. He's got great sensibilities always. This is the character Crazy Man who got his own book for an issue or 2. Fun stuff. The Thing and Doc Savage. Now coming in focus in a comic book near you. Marvel 2-in-1. I love the book since my first issue was... What was the issue? Oh, it was issue 7 with Valkyrie. Or Valkyrie. Or, whatever. And The Thing is just such a huge presence. He's just an astonishing character who is really fit solely for comics. That's why the movies and TVs have failed so bad. He's just this big animated character that if it's done in a comic book, he fits right in. But you take him out, and it's hard work. It's really hard work. So there's Doc Savage. And for a while they couldn't reprint this because this is owned by somebody else. But then when they came out with, I think, the Marvel Masterworks, they managed to get the license for that year. That year they reprinted so much Marvel. There wasn't that much. All the Marvel Doc Savage stories into a collection. And so this is, on another episode, on my Drew Dracy episode, which needs a better name, but it's too late now, John Byrne was doing a Fantastic Four story where simultaneously there was something going on with Ben Grimm and the Torch and Alicia, and at the bottom he had Mephisto and some witch going after Reed and Sue. So, but this came out this came out probably, like 9 years prior, and Ron Wilson, inked by Pablo Marcos. Now, Pablo Marcos is one of those guys who could really save average art, and I like Ron Wilson. He when he came back later, he was stuck with like mid-shot ranges. I'm 100% sure that Jim Shooter wanted that because he was really big on like the mid-range panels. Look at the Secret Wars and other stuff. So Ron, he's a weightlifter too, so he loves drawing like kick-ass muscles and shit. So this one's recovery, blah, blah, blah. It's somebody else, but it's way too long to explain. Way too long to explain. Oh yeah, I like that. That's like a dilapidated house, and this is current or flashback where it's in good shape. Bill Manilow wrote this, so it's good. So you have all this simultaneous. great establishing shot of the fantastic car, and the auto gyro that was really ahead of its time. It was in the Doc Savage novels. I keep saying, well, oddly enough, they both get zapped, and somehow they're all mixed into present. Like, who's following with us? I was about to ask you the same thing. I am Black Sun. That is a great page right there. That's a great pose. The whole story is really well done by Wilson. I mean, you could be told to do stories simultaneously like that, but you have to sell it. You really have to work hard to sell it. I think Ron did it. So, Black Hole Sun, won't you come wash away the rain? Sorry, I just had a fit of singing. There's the torch. And he's able to help Ben Grimm up, so, the Man of Bronze, he's a kick-ass dude. That was so funny. Okay. Ramita. I think Ramita. Gil Kane. John Buscema, inked by Sinnott. Dave Cockrum. Gil Kane. Bruner. Yeah. And Jim Starlin. Frank Bruner. So, there's the books that are out that right there. She's like, yeah, Meffers, look, come get some. So they do exactly that, and it's all, nobody keeps Doc Savage and his crew back, not when there's a fight to be had. Let's see if our mercy bullets will stop him running. Right, Doc. Don't hurt him. It ain't possible. Man, that's another one. When I see bodies like this, I think Andy Smith's probably getting a big kick out of it. Because he loves to draw that kind of stuff. Wow. Well, what happens is all these great poses here. And something, I don't know what. He disappears. But one of the guys shows up later in the Project Pegasus storyline in issue 42 or something. Well, brief time. Marvel Team-Up sales were kind of flagging because they were just cranking it out, for monthly purposes. But for a couple issues, the Hulk got top billing instead of Spider-Man. And that was kind of cool. I think Al Milgrom did this cover. I'm not sure. It's so funny how back then how dinosaurs were supposed to look, but nobody really knew. You don't have the information you get now. Jerry Bingham, inked by Mike Esposito, written by Roger McKenzie. I'm not a big Esposito fan on certain books. It's more like a trace job. I hate saying that because he has done really good stuff too. And Jerry Bingham went from this to shortly thereafter he got to do a year on Iron Man where Bob Layton inked him, and it was written by David McElhaney. So he changed back to Banner. Now he's like one of the guys on the boat swabbing the deck. He's just glad to be away from anything Hulk oriented. There is MODOK. Good. How about, oh my God, that third Ant-Man film, they made such a mockery of MODOK. They gave him that big goofy face from the guy before. It's like he's supposed to be gruesome. He's supposed to be almost inhuman looking, which would match the proportions of the rest of his body. I don't know what the frig those filmmakers were thinking, but I just thought it was a great idea, gone. And I doubt they'll ever revisit it, since most people didn't know MODOK pre-existed in the comics. There we go. Why is Hulk chained? Get away from Hulk, Lizard. Thanks, Dr. Banner. Banner, you're not Banner. So he tries to break free of his chains. Hulk is no captive. And apparently Hulk doesn't remember that they met before, like in issue 110 of the Hulk way back in the early Trimpe era. But you know what I mean? The Hulk, he's easily distracted and forgets shit sometimes. And the Hulk also made an appearance in that Iron Man run I was telling you about, where the Hulk goes on a rampage, and as he's wont to do. So that's it. That's it for this episode. I hope you liked it. And please leave comments below. And please hit like and then click and subscribe if you haven't already. I've got tons of comics to go through from all kinds of publishers. I sort of try and keep my comics within last century. I don't do a lot of 2000, 2001 and all that stuff. I try to, because it's nostalgia in a good way. And also, when I talk about nostalgia in comics, I'm pretty honest. Excuse me. I'd like to think I'm pretty honest. I mean, that's for you guys to decide. I can't evaluate myself that way, but I try to be honest in that. Even if it's an old book that I like, if it's really goofy or if there's something that just doesn't hold up well, I'll say it, And that's about it. That's enough of my blather. And please leave comments below. Leave as many as you want. I mean, you can just go straight down in a line and say this and this and this. And I don't delete comments, even if I disagree. I just love the interaction. This is great. Comics are great. And we're all very lucky to enjoy them. That's it, everybody. Bye.